Hello, and welcome to my recap of the most recent episode of Doctor Who The Robot Revolution, written by Rusty Davies, featuring the Doctor trying to rescue a potential new companion, Belinda Chandra, as she's captured by a set of robots and set to become the queen of a planet she seems to be named after. Now, I'm pleased to say that a lot of people seem to be enjoying this episode and really getting a lot out of it. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't overly keen and was a little underwhelmed, but not in the sense where I think it's bad or whenever I see people compliment the episode I think they're wrong. I think most of what they're saying is right, but ultimately I feel the execution of the concept is let down by the pacing. I feel this episode is incredibly rushed in terms of what it wants to do, especially in regards to some of the key supporting characters, in particular Sasha and Alan. Both, in theory, are very important to both the Doctor and Belinda. They serve an important purpose, but because we get to know them so little, any emotional weight their character journeys have don't work for me. If we spent a little bit more time with Sasha, it would have worked a little better in my opinion, because she's apparently meant to be this character the Doctor's known for several months and is basically a surrogate companion, but we know her for about one scene and they barely share any lines. That is really disappointing. And I don't necessarily buy Alan's jump from bit of a creep incel character to murderous robot. It's a bit of a leap in my opinion. I also think the episode could have been a bit more funny in my opinion. It starts off with some really witty dialogue, and the robots themselves are actually quite funny most of the story, but otherwise it's a pretty dull one. Obviously the highlight is the relationship between the Doctor and Belinda. In the grand scheme of things, Belinda is pretty generic in terms of companions, but when next to Ruby she does have her own personality, being a bit more of a cynic. And for me the best parts of it were elements like the Doctor being upfront about the whole mystery of Monday and their connection. I'm glad that the Doctor's not going back to secrecy. 15's key character trait is being open with people. And the fact that they quickly throw that piece of the story arc away as just being a mere coincidence and Belinda not being interested in that. I think I was not keen on that being a major recurring story arc, because I think the idea of her being a reluctant companion caught in the middle of this purely by accident and having to learn to get on with the Doctor as they struggle to get back to Earth, that is more than enough. And especially since we've got loads of other things to consider, like I have no investment in Mrs. Flood. She is not doing anything to convince me that she's a compelling mystery that I should keep track of. Either she needs to be more active or leave, in my opinion, because I'm getting really bored of her fourth wall breaks. So overall, not a bad episode in my opinion. I'm sure I'll be more appreciative of it in future, but I think for now I'm probably going to say this is my least favourite of the season. At least I hope it is, because a lot of the other stories are a lot more intriguing to me. I'm more excited about the wacky creative concepts that we've got lined up. This is a bit more generic sci-fi. I know a lot of people were craving that type of story and I'm glad they've now got it, but hopefully we can move on into the weird stuff. But let me know what you think of the story in the comments below, and whether or not I'm being a bit too harsh and should give this story a better judgment. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.